Guys, welcome back to the channel. Things keep getting crazier and crazier and crazier. This footage was apparently from 4 days ago. If you saw my last video, I talked about can you defend your property if you live in the state of Maryland using deadly force? Well, this video is of a Bowie, Maryland County police officer who pulls up on some citizens who are pulled over on the side of the road. And apparently they pulled over on the side of the road for for the male in the vehicle to retrieve a hat that apparently had blown out of the car. Now, the officer was unaware of that, and he pulled over to try to, I guess, assist or figure out if there was anything illegal going on, because these guys have a quota that they have to meet. And he ends up having a conversation with a black gentleman that is attempting to walk back to the car. And after that, things just they just go out of hand here. So we're going to look at the news story.
All new at 4, Bowie police body camera video shows a dramatic shooting on a busy road. The footage raising more questions than answers. Thanks for joining us for News 4 at 4. I'm Un Yang.
And I'm Leon Harris. The officer who fired his gun into traffic is now facing multiple charges, including attempted murder. Erica Gonzalez reviewed that video. She joins us now with the very latest. Erica.
Hi, guys. So this is a story that we have followed extensively, and now we can see exactly what happened when the officer fired his gun on busy Collington Road. A warning that you're going to see that scene close up, and it may be alarming to watch. We're going to play the entirety of that clip, which is about 30 seconds, so that you can see for yourself how things unfolded. We should note here that nobody was injured in the encounter. Watch.
Can you know her? You here to help her? Are you here to help her? Nah, she's taking me to the hospital. Come here. You're good. 210. Somebody out here. I'm sorry.
All right, so I'm going to pause it here because as you hear the officer who is attempting to apologize over and over and over again, that is literally what I talked about in the last video, where it's considered a stressful utterance. Obviously, the officer is under extreme stress now at this point because he realized, oh shit, I've done something wrong. I've done something terribly wrong. He had a gun. He didn't have a gun. And then when the female starts to scream, that just runs his stress levels up like crazy. So now it's, I'm sorry. So that stressful utterance can be used against you, and it can be used against the officer in the court of law. And that's what you hear here.
I'm sorry. She said.
All right, let's go through this again. We're going to loop that video, take the audio away. I'm going to walk you through this. You see the officer exit the cruiser. Man comes out on the left side of your screen. He asks him a question. After that exchange, it's a few seconds later that the officer pulls his weapon.
See, what I believe is going on here, this officer pulled his weapon, is because I think he honestly has a fear of black people. That's just what
that the officer pulls his weapon, fires one single shot. After that, at the cruiser, man.
That's what it comes down to. If you look at it, when he first initiated his traffic stop, it looks like he had his focus on the vehicle, and then when he heard the person walk up behind him, he was startled. And the person happens to be a black person. Perhaps he was reaching inside of his pocket to put the hat inside of his pocket, and the guy, and his first thing in his mind is, oh my gosh, I'm going to get shot by this black guy. Now, here's how I feel about that. You're the officer with all of this, training requirements, guys. They don't just give you a gun and badge and send you out there. Like, they actually have to maintain qualifications to fire that weapon. So odds are you're going to be able to hit your target in this situation, the black person he's fearing, with much more lethality than a random street person would, unless they're just going to the range every day and they're training like John Wick. Like, some people do that. Some people like to because we do have the Second Amendment in this country. You do have the right to bear arms. So many people do go to the range, but most don't, right? And you also have a vest on. So, like, why are you so afraid of being fired? Now, I know some of you guys may say, "Oh, well, he can hit him in he can hit him in the neck, and he can hit him in all these different places." Yes, he can, but odds are they can't, because even when they train officers, they train the person to fire at center mass here. This is the deadly area that you want to fire. You want to fire on all the lung area, all the lung tissue and things in this area here. This is what you're going for. So you don't really, just not too much worry about the stuff up in this area and stuff like this. And I know some of you guys who do train that way, where you like to, put a bullet in the brain and things like that. You can do that, but the most effective way, the further away your target gets, the further away you want to aim more for the chest. So I say all that to say is that it's just clearly this guy had a bias and he was afraid. And some people who are lean more toward the blue line, there have been incidents of officers being walked upon and fired and shot and killed point blank in police cruisers and stuff. And perhaps I'll cover some of those videos on this channel, because I feel like I want to have a good level playing field of everything that's happening with everybody here. So we will possibly do that, but I think that's very important to point out.
Comes out on the left side of your screen. He asks him a question. After that exchange, it's a few seconds later that the officer pulls his weapon, fires one single shot.
And then we didn't even discuss this. When during your training, again, you're supposed to think about your backstop here, right? Your backstop was other innocent civilians riding down the street. In fact, as this clip goes on, I think he actually did strike a car. So you actually almost killed someone because of your bias and your fear, right? I think they should pull this guy's record and find out if there were any other weird shots that all of a sudden the report said he had a gun. You know what I'm saying? This gentleman was not shot. So with all this training that he has, he was unable to get the first shot off. Thank the goddess that he didn't get shot here, but oftentimes that first shot is your most accurate shot, and he couldn't even get that to plant where it was supposed to go. This guy is falling short of all of his expected qualifications and the behavior we expect of a police officer completely.
See there, he walks up to the man. Immediately, that man drops to the ground. And in that video, you can see and hear the woman screaming, "Why did you do that?" The officer.
And they're blurring the faces. I don't even think this is a man. I really feel like this is a young man, right? The news, they always like to add several years on to Black people. They do that all the time. If you look back at Trayvon Martin, they tried to make Trayvon Martin seem to be like this like extremely older person and things. Like, it's kind of a mess there. I wish they had been more fair with the way they're reporting on this story.
Calls for help. He can be heard apologizing repeatedly, in fact, saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Now we're going to show you some scene video the day that we initially covered this. This was back on September 12th. It was early in the morning, about 8 o'clock in the morning on Collington Road. The man who was shot at was on the roadway, told News Forward that he was there to retrieve a hat that had blown away. The officer fired
that
his
backstop?
weapon, and
Look
it
at that.
hit this passing car. It actually didn't hit the guy. It hit this minivan. We spoke to that man.
Guys, even the police officers, even the police officers are responsible for every single shot they fire. As you can see, this is probably why he's being charged. Like, he literally could have killed someone, an innocent person riding down the street. The person that didn't have a weapon, even though he said he did have a weapon. This is a mess.
And within a few days of the incident, and as he was searching for answers, here's what he told our Darcy Spencer back in September.
I thought I died on that highway.
You thought you were hit by this gunfire?
Yes. As soon as my ears stopped ringing, I turned around and asked the officer, why did he shoot me?
State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy says the video speaks for itself.
Well, that's where I'm going to stop this one, guys. I'm going to be looking for more videos like this, because I feel like there's not enough coverage of when police basically make ultimate mistakes like this, especially with this being in the state of Maryland. It's just wild to follow up that video from yesterday. If you guys haven't seen the video from yesterday, look at that video. But this is pretty shocking stuff out there, guys. Please be safe out there. You can't even tell if the ones that's supposed to keep us safe are going to actually live up to that job and do it now. All right, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video. Be safe out there.